Wheat School on RealAgriculture.com is brought to you by Syngenta Canada, Alberta Wheat Commission, and C&M Seeds.
In any crop field, there are a lot of different kinds of insects. People may be most familiar with the pest insects, and there are pest insects out there, but there's a whole bunch of other insects that are actually doing good jobs that are eating those pest insects. So we call them beneficials because they're doing the work that we want them to do. They're eating the pests. So they can eat the eggs of the pests, they can eat the larvae of the pests, they can eat the adults of the pests. And so they're what we call free labor, or some people call them an unpaid army. So they're out there just living their lives, doing their thing, which happens to be beneficial to us.
And out of all the beneficials, which one do you find the most economic benefiting?
That is an excellent question because we don't really have dollar values on them yet. I would say probably our biocontrol agents, so those are specialist insects that are released to control specific pests. So in general, you have some insects that'll eat anything, like spiders, for example. We call them generalists because in general they'll eat anything, and some are called specialists. So they're specializing on one pest species, and those ones, because they kind of focus on the pest species, I think are probably worth more money.
And what do you think most growers don't realize about beneficials?
That they're doing free work because we don't pay for them. We don't release them ourselves. They're just out there. I think maybe growers aren't aware of the contribution that they're making, and that's something that I want to quantify actually in my new position. Eventually, it's a big goal, right? But eventually I would love to put some dollar values on how much money these beneficial insects are saving producers. So usually when people spray, they'll do a little bit of scouting first of all, and you can do some sweep netting. You can also look along the ground, and you're looking for specific, well, depending on the crop, right, you're looking for specific insects. So let's take cereal leaf beetle as an example. That's a pest that I have here in this cage. It's new to Alberta since 2005, and the adults will live on the leaves and make holes in the flag leaves, which would reduce yield. So if you wanted to know whether to spray for cereal leaf beetles, you can do some sweep netting, right? And if you do a bunch of sweep netting and you find very, very tiny little black wasps, you may have the beneficial biocontrol insect in your field called T. julis, and this is the one that we think is worth a lot of money because we don't even see cereal leaf beetle around Lethbridge anymore since so many of these were released. So if you see these in your sweep net, then you may be having a lot of beneficials in your field and you don't want to spray because when you spray the cereal leaf beetles, you're going to kill all the beneficials too. So the main message is that there's a lot going out in your field. It's a whole ecosystem of insects, and only a few of those species are actually pests. So sometimes you have to spray out the pests, but just know that when you're making those decisions that you're spraying out a whole bunch of insects that were doing free labor for you, and once they're gone, they're hard to get back.
You said you've been looking for help from producers. Can you elaborate more on that?
Yes, I'm looking for field sites. So to do some of this work, to determine economic thresholds, to figure out how much beneficials are worth, we need field sites with cereal leaf beetles in them. And they're actually hard to find right now. So, around Lethbridge anyway. So if you're a producer and you have a field with a cereal leaf beetle problem, or you expect there will be one, it would be great if you could contact me and we could set up so that you could do some research. We could do some research in your field. And the benefit to you is that you get to learn exactly what's in your field. Like you get professional entomologists, us, to come in and tell you what you've got. All right, people can reach me at my Twitter, so that's at Haley Catton, or by email, haley.catton@canada.ca, or by phone, 403-317-3404.